You ever felt like the world just didn't want you? Like no matter what you did, people already had their minds made up about you? That's how the crow felt. Every time he flew down near the village, someone would wave their arms or throw a stone. He wasn't doing anything wrong, just existing, sitting on a branch, watching, breathing. But somehow even that was too much for people. He was black, his feathers were dull, and his voice, well, it wasn't exactly sweet, and people made sure he knew it. "Dirty bird," they'd mutter. "Go away." They didn't even look him in the eye, like he wasn't even worth that. That night, the crow didn't sleep. He just sat on a crooked branch deep in the forest, staring at the moon and hating every feather on his body. His own reflection in a puddle disgusted him. That sharp beak, those ragged feathers, that pitch-black color that nobody admired, just tolerated, if that. He muttered to himself, "I wish I was born different. I wish I was anything but this." "Rough night?" The voice came from above, an old, worn-looking crow with a cracked beak and feathers that looked like they'd been through a war. The young crow flinched, embarrassed. "Go away." But the old one just chuckled. "You think you're the first crow to wish he was something else?" And that was it. The dam broke. The young crow poured it all out, how he was tired of being hated, of being ugly, of being unwanted. He said he wanted to be like the swan. He said it like a prayer. "If I had white feathers, maybe I'd be happy." The old crow didn't mock him. Instead, he tilted his head and said, "There's a spring deep in this forest, old, hidden, almost forgotten. If you find it and you bathe in it with a pure heart, it can change how you look." The young crow's eyes widened. "But," the old one said, "before you go chasing miracles, why don't you ask the swan if she's really as happy as she looks?" So the crow did. The next morning he flew back to the village, and when he asked the swan if she was happy, her smile cracked. She looked down and said, "People love how I look, but I'm not free. I'm a pet, a decoration. I can't even choose where I sleep." Beautiful, admired, but trapped. And suddenly the crow didn't feel so envious. The crow flew away from the pond in silence. What the swan said kept echoing in his head. Owned, trapped, can't even fly. It didn't sit right. But maybe she was just unlucky. Maybe not everyone with beauty was miserable. He set his sights on a parrot. Bright green wings, splashes of red, yellow, blue, like a walking rainbow. Humans loved parrots. They laughed at their voices, posted videos of them talking, called them cute and smart. Surely this one had to be living the dream. He found her sitting in a little cage on someone's porch, chewing nervously on a piece of wood. Her feathers were gorgeous, no doubt, but her eyes, they were dull, tired. "Hey," the crow whispered, "you must be the happiest bird in the world." The parrot looked at him like he'd just told the worst joke she'd ever heard. "Happy," she said flatly. "I haven't flown in years. People love how I look, yeah. They love the colors. They laugh when I mimic their voices. But they don't see me." The crow tilted his head. "But everyone wants to be you." She let out a dry laugh. "They want my looks, not my life. They don't see the cage. They don't hear how quiet it gets when they cover me at night and walk away. I'm a toy, a decoration, pretty, but powerless." The crow didn't know what to say. For the first time, he felt something strange rising in his chest. Not jealousy, not bitterness. It was guilt. Pure, aching guilt. He thought about his wings, his trees, his sky. The world didn't lock him up. No one clipped his flight, and maybe, just maybe, being ordinary wasn't the curse he thought it was. But just a few feet away, floating gracefully in the village pond, there was a swan. Pure white feathers, gliding like she owned the water. People came just to see her. They pointed, they smiled, they called her beautiful. And the crow, he just sat there, half hidden in a tree, watching, not jealous, something worse, hollow, invisible, like the world had drawn a line and said, you stay over there. You're not meant to be loved. And the worst part, he started to believe them. Maybe it was his feathers, maybe it was his voice, maybe, just maybe, it was him. Maybe he was the problem. That thought stuck with him. It wasn't just one bad day or one rude villager. It was every day. Every time he showed up, the message was loud and clear. You don't belong here. And that's when the thought crept in, quiet but sharp. If I looked like that swan, maybe people would finally like me. The crow wasn't ready to give up just yet. He'd heard all the stories, seen the pictures, the one bird everyone seemed to worship. The peacock, gorgeous, proud, dramatic. People traveled miles just to take selfies with one. If there was anyone living the dream, it had to be him. So the crow followed the buzz, flew over roads, rooftops, highways, and finally landed on the wire fence of a zoo. And there he was, the peacock, towering, sparkling, like he walked straight out of a royal painting. His feathers shimmered in the sunlight like they'd been dipped in gold. Tourists surrounded him, snapping pictures, gasping, clapping. Children squealed, adults swooned. The crow watched in awe. This was it. This was what he wanted to be. He waited till the crowd thinned out, then flew down. "Hey," he said carefully, "you must love your life." The peacock turned his head slowly, and the look in his eyes? Empty. "I hate it," he said. The crow blinked. "Wait, what?" "They pluck my feathers," the peacock said, barely above a whisper. "They sell them. It hurts. They lock me up, feed me junk, make me perform. I'm not a bird. I'm a product." The crow was frozen. "I used to dream of flying," the peacock said, "like you do. Trees, clouds, wind. But they took that from me. You think being admired means freedom? It means control. It means expectations. It means pain you can't show." The crow swallowed hard. The peacock looked straight at him, fierce and tired. "You think I'm lucky? I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat." And just like that, the fantasy shattered. For the first time, the crow heard it out loud. "I'd rather be you." The crow didn't rush back to the forest. He flew slowly this time. No anger in his wings, no tears in his eyes. Just quiet. For the first time, he wasn't chasing anything. Not beauty, not attention, not anyone else's life. Just the wind, the trees, the feeling of being free. He landed on his usual branch, the one nobody ever fought him for, and he just sat there, breathing, thinking, watching the sky shift from gold to gray. He thought about the swan, pretty but imprisoned, the parrot, loved but lonely, the peacock, worshipped yet used. Every bird he once envied. They were silently screaming for the one thing he already had, freedom. That hit hard. He looked down at his feathers, black as night, sharp, messy, and his. For the first time, they didn't disgust him. They didn't feel wrong. They felt honest. He wasn't cursed. He was just blind. The pain he carried all this time, it wasn't because the world hated him. It was because he did. He believed he wasn't enough. That being ordinary meant being worthless. But now he saw the truth. He'd never been unwanted. He'd just been ungrateful. All those nights crying over what he lacked, he could have been flying. All those days hiding from who he was, he could have been living. And just like that, the mirror cracked, not the one in the water, but the one in his mind, the one that had been showing him a lie. He didn't need white feathers. He didn't need applause. He just needed to come home to himself. The crow found the old one again, perched high above the forest, half asleep like he always was. He didn't say much, just landed beside him, feathers dusty, eyes calm. "Well," the old crow asked without looking, "you find that spring?" The young crow shook his head. "Don't need it anymore." That made the old one smile. Not a smug smile, a soft, knowing one, like he'd been waiting for this moment all along. "I thought I wanted to be like them," the young crow said. "Turns out they want to be like me." There was no pride in his voice, no ego, just peace. He didn't stay long. He had somewhere else to be. He flew back to the village, the same one that used to chase him off like trash, same pond, same trees, same faces. But this time he wasn't hiding. He landed on the very same branch where it all began, loud, black, uninvited. Only this time something strange happened. Nobody shooed him away. A kid looked up, didn't scream, just watched. A man passed by, glanced at him, and kept walking. No panic, no waving arms. He didn't change his feathers. He didn't soften his call. The only thing that changed was how he carried himself. Because when you stop apologizing for who you are, when you walk in your truth without flinching, people feel that. And something in them shifts. They don't see ugly. They see strength. The crow sat there for a long time, just watching the water. He didn't need to be the swan or the parrot or the peacock. He was the crow, and for the first time in his life, that was more than enough.